Face recognition error. Maya loved her new phone. It was sleek, fast, and the latest model on the market. The face recognition feature was her favorite. She no longer had to worry about remembering passwords or PIN codes. All she had to do was look at the screen and it would unlock for her. But one evening, she was scrolling through her photos. Something strange happened. The phone's camera flashed and it pinged with notification. New face detected. Maya blinked in confusion. It was just her. She had been using the phone all day. And the face recognition had always worked fine, but this time something was different. Curious, she tapped the notification and the phone opened up gallery of her photos. There, in the middle of the screen, was a face she had never seen before. It was her face. Oh, it looked like her. Except the eyes were wrong, darker, almost hollow. The smile was too wide, stretched unnaturally across the face. Confused, Maya swiped through the photos and the face kept reappearing in every single one. Her selfies, group pictures, candid shots, that face was there. Lurking in the background, always just behind her own image. She felt a cold shiver run down her spine. Panic set in when the phone pinged. Again, this time with a message. Can you see me now? Maya froze, her hand trembling as she started at the screen. She was alone in her apartment. But she could hear a faint rustling behind her. Slowly she turned, half expecting to see someone standing there. But there was no one. When she looked back at the phone, the face in the photo had changed. It was now grinning. The eyes black and endless, the mouth stretched open in a terrifying smile. The phone's screen went dark, and a cold voice whispered from the speaker, "I'm already here." The second birthday. It started with the envelope, plain, no return address, on Lily's doorstep. Inside was a single card, "Happy birthday." But it wasn't Lily's birthday, not for another 6 months. She tossed the card aside, thinking it was a mistake. The next morning, another envelope, same handwriting, same plain card, "Happy birthday, Lily." This time, it included a photo, Lily asleep in her room, taken from the foot of her bed. Her blood ran cold. She lived alone. She called the police. They searched her apartment. Nothing. They told her it was probably a sick joke. The next day, another card. Blow out the candles before they blow you out. No photo, just wax. Red wax smeared inside the envelope. Or maybe it wasn't wax at all. Lily didn't sleep that night. The fourth day, no card came. Instead, her lights flickered. Her TV turned on by itself, showing static. Then an image broke through a grainy party. Balloons. A cake. A girl that looked exactly like her, smiling wide, surrounded by strangers with blank faces. Lily screamed and yanked the cord from the wall. The screen stayed on. A voice whispered from the TV, "Time to make a wish." The lights died. The static fell silent, and from the hallway, someone began to sing, off-key, slow, a birthday song. But not for the birthday she knew. When police entered Lily's apartment the next day, everything was normal except for a cake sitting perfectly on her kitchen table. 6 candles melted down to ash, and the message written in the red rising, "Happy second birthday, Lily." They never found her. Ravi first noticed it on a quiet afternoon. He was walking home from school, his bag heavy on his back, when he caught something odd out of the corner of his eyes, his shadow. It wasn't quite right. The sun was behind him, so his shadows should have stretched forward. But instead, it moved sideways, shifting unnaturally as if it had a mind of its own. He stopped. His shadow didn't. He took one more step before realizing he wasn't moving, then snapped back into place. Ravi's heart pounded. Maybe he was imagining things. Maybe it was just the wind or a trick of the light. But then the shadow twitched again. This time it waved. Ravi ran. He sprinted down the street, not daring to look back. Bursting into his house and slamming the doors shut, his breath came in gasps as he pressed his back against the wooden surface. Slowly, he glanced down. His shadow was beneath him, perfectly normal. Had he imagined it? Shaking his head, Ravi went about his evening, pushing the thought aside. But that night, as he lay in bed, he saw it again. The dim glow of the street lamp outside cast a faint shadow of him onto the wall. At first, it was still. But then it moved. Ravi froze. The shadow lifted its hand and pointed toward the window. A chill crawled down his spine. "What do you want?" he whispered. The shadow pointed again. This time, the message was clear. "Follow me," against every ounce of logic, screaming to him to hide under the blanket. Ravi climbed out of bed. The moment his feet touched the floor, his shadow slithered forward, gliding ahead of him. It led him to the window. Outside, the street was bathed in pale moonlight. Eerily quiet. The shadow waited expectant. Ravi hesitated, then opened the window and climbed down the ledge. As soon as he touched the ground, the shadow darted ahead. It moved faster than a normal shadow should, stretching unnaturally around corners and slipping through gaps where no light touched. It led him to an abandoned house at the edge of town. Ravi's stomach twisted with unease. He had always avoided this place. It was rumored to be haunted. His shadow slid under the door. Ravi swallowed hard. Then with trembling fingers, he pushed the door open and stepped inside. The air was heavy, thick with dust and something else, something ancient. And then he saw them. Shadows, dozens of them, but there was no people, only the shadows. Standing, shifting, watching. His own shadow moved forward, blending into them, becoming one of them. A whisper filled the air, like voices speaking from the walls. "You are one of us now!" Ravi turned to run. The door was gone, and then he realized he no longer had a shadow. Don't blink in the forest. It was supposed to be a weekend hike, just another trip into the woods to clear his head. But Alex soon learned that his forest was different. He noticed the whispers the moment he entered, but it wasn't the wind. It was watching. The trees seemed to shift. The air felt thicker, heavier. He ignored it, but then came the warnings. "Don't blink," a voice echoed, faint yet unmistakable. He looked around. No one was there. A few more steps and he heard it. Again, this time louder. "Don't blink!" A rustle in the bushes caught his attention, and he turned just in time to see nothing. The path stretched ahead as it always had. Empty and still. But then he realized something. He hadn't blinked since hearing the warning. His eyes burned, they watered. His vision began to blur. Another step forward, and the whisper came once more. This time, frantic, almost panicked. "Don't blink." His body screamed for rest, but Alex knew if he blinked, it would move. The creature in the forest, it only moved when you weren't looking. Alex forced his eyes wide open, willing himself not to blink, but he couldn't go on. Like this forever. His skin was dry. His eyelids felt like they were made of stone. He stumbled, trying to move faster, but the shadows shifted in ways that made his skin crawl. The whispers got louder, surrounding him. He could hear it now. Something moving behind him, just out of sight. He could not blink. With his last ounce of strength, Alex ran, eyes stinging, heart pounding. But when he finally reached the edge of the forest, He collapsed in the clearing. The thing was right behind him, and it whispered in his ear, "You blinked." Granny's other room. Then Arya was sent to live with her grandmother. For the summer, she thought it would be all cookies and bedtime stories. But Granny's house was strange, too quiet, too cold. And then there was the door at the end of the hallway. It was always locked, painted the same pale green as the walls. It almost blended in almost. Never open that door. Granny's warned, eyes sharper than usual. That's my room, the one for before. Arya didn't understand. Before what at night? She heard soft movements behind the door. Footsteps, creaks, sometimes humming. Granny lived alone. Arya asked her about it once. Granny only smiled oddly. She gets restless sometimes. Curiosity clawed at Arya until she couldn't resist. One afternoon, while Granny napped, Arya stole the rusted key from under a loose floorboard she'd seen Granny use. She creeped to the door, heard pounding, and turned the key. The air behind the door was ice-cold. The room was dimly lit by a flickering bulb, and everything was identical. Same wallpaper, same furniture, but it was frozen in time. Photos on the dresser showed young women, Granny but glowing, wild-eyed and dangerous. Beside her, a man with hollow eyes. In every photo, the man grew more twisted, more terrified. A large wardrobe stood in the corner, its door slightly ajar. Inside, something breathed. Arya backed away. The door slammed shut behind her. From the wardrobe, a hand reached out, long-fingered, too pale. And then a voice, low and bitter. "You opened the door. She said you would." The wardrobe burst open. Out stepped Granny, but younger. Her face was cracked porcelain, her mouth stitched into a smile, threads of shadow. "She kept me locked away," the other Granny hissed. "But now you have set me free." The lights went out. When Arya awoke, she was back in her bed. Granny hummed in the kitchen, making tea. Everything seemed normal, except the locked door was gone. And Granny's eyes, they were the wrong color.